So Donald Trump has made a big promise to his followers. And what's that promise? That he's going to bring back all of your factory jobs, right? That's what he's been promising people. However, there's a new Senate report that just came out today that flies in the face of that. And what does it say? Almost 100 million jobs could be lost to AI and automation. And I want to talk with you guys about this stuff because this is what everything that's going on in USA kind of centers around, essentially who gets the jobs, right? Trump's basically base is like, they took our jobs, right? Trump's like, okay, well, I'll get you to the jobs that you want that, supposedly was stolen from you. That's how Trump talks to his people. However, here's the truth that Trump doesn't tell his base is effectively a lot of jobs are gone due to automation and advances in technology. And from Trump's point of view, if you watch everything that he's saying, he hangs out with his Wall Street buddies and the tech bros, be it Sam Altman and Jensen Huang, Elon Musk. And their whole goal is to build as many data centers as possible to have all of this AI to, again, replace you. That's their end game. And so they want to deregulate everything, get all of your power, etc. And Trump will promise you jobs, but they're only going to be temporary because your job that Trump's going to, I guess, supposedly get you is building a data center, which could be for a few months, maybe a year if you're lucky. And at the end of the day, though, you're not going to have a job. Part of what's going on here, which is also ironic about this report, is they used AI to predict the jobs that AI will replace, right? So even the job predicting the job replacement by AI is done by AI, which is all crazy. But there is some truth to this report, because I'll just show you guys. For example, it says fast food and counter workers, 89% of those jobs will be replaced. And I don't necessarily dispute that number because I'm here in Korea, and much of the restaurants that we go to have kiosks at the tables. They have kiosks at the front door. We were just at a restaurant over the weekend, and they had a robot server, right? And I see that more and more here in Korea. So I don't think that's necessarily untrue. I actually think that's the way that it's going, is that AI is going to replace those kind of jobs. And then you got customer service reps, right? You go to any sort of website, it's an AI kind of thing now. You guys know this. Airline websites are like that. Hotel websites are like that. Many websites are like that. Laborers, freight, stock, so basically a longshoreman, those jobs, that can all easily be automated. In Korea, we even have ports that are all automated. A retail salesperson, that can go that way as well. And the list goes on, right? You can go through the whole list if you like. Why would it go this way? Is because if you look at this is also part of the Senate report, it sort of shows the trajectory of three things. You have wages, which are basically stagnant, according to this. You also have labor productivity, which is going up. So I agree with that. People are being more productive. And then you got corporate profits, which are just going to the moon. And essentially, the way our markets work is that companies always need to prove that they're getting more profit. And the way that they're doing it these days is like, okay, you know what? What if we eliminate humans and just get as many, robots and AI as possible? Wow, look at all the profits that we could make, because we don't have to worry about humans complaining, etc. And what's crazy about this whole thing is you have a MAGA base that is cheering on their own demise. So even right now with the government shutdown, Trump is saying, yeah, we're going to fire as many federal workers as possible. We're going to cut as many programs as possible. And it's just like, if you're MAGA, it's like, are you guys crazy? You're cheering your own demise. Do you see what's happening? And apparently they don't. And that's why I have to make these videos with you. Now, people don't like to talk about these things because it's not part of the media landscape and not part of what Wall Street wants. Because again, Wall Street wants is to keep making those profits go up and up and up and up, up. And also, to be fair, if you're investing in these companies, yeah, you want to make more money, sure. But I always want to point out that this sort of system that we're going into is just not sustainable. Who's going to be buying these products if there's no one who has a job, etc.? This is also a headline today, and this will relate to the AI bubble. OpenAI's blockbuster AMD deal is a bet on near limitless demand for AI, right? So is that indeed the case, that we're going to all want AI forever and it's like near limitless, right? It's just, man, we all need AI so much, be it if I'm still have a job, I need AI for my job, which could be the future, certainly could be. Or are you more like the CEO billionaire class is like, you know what, I just want to get rid of humans as quickly as possible and bring in the robots. And so what happened is OpenAI, I guess they're going to get possibly 10% stake of AMD. AMD stocks go to the moon. And essentially now we got circular financing going on here. And NVIDIA, there's an article we talked about before a couple weeks ago on the channel where we had that kind of thing. It's essentially like one company's like, hey, I'll invest in you, you buy stuff from me, then I lease stuff from you, and the game goes around. And we both borrow money to keep this thing going. So everyone's raising money. Right now, companies like OpenAI are not profitable, but they keep raising money to keep expanding because the promise is that they'll be profitable in the future, which may or may not be true. But then this is why I question all this stuff, because again, if we were all going to replace human workers, what's it going to do to our economy? And so we've been talking about bubble for a while now, right? How long can the bubble go? That's anyone's guess, but I just feel like with Trump presidency plus the bubble plus all of the, sorry, we're to say, like you could say turmoil in the USA, people fighting each other, basically boils down to fighting over jobs, and the jobs are getting less and less and less. I just think this is completely unsustainable. You also have this, AI's boom reliance on circular deals is raising fears of a bubble. And I also want to point this out. My wife and I went to go see this movie recently. It's called No Other Choice. It'll eventually come to USA. It's just in Korea now, but it's basically a Squid Gamey kind of a movie. And the basic gist of it is when you lose your job and there's not a lot of options out there, what do you do? And it covers kind of the world that we live in right now, as you guys know. And so I understand on every day in the news, which we have to talk about, and I do talk about in other videos, but I just want to connect the dots and how this all relates. You got to talk about, okay, now Trump wants to bring the National Guard so he can deport yet more people. But again, this is all over angst over jobs. If everyone had a job, just for example, if everyone had a job and you weren't worried about economy at all, we wouldn't be having these discussions at all about, oh, we got to kick out some people because they're taking my job, right? It's all about jobs. This whole thing's about jobs. And that's why I mentioned the projection that maybe 100 million jobs could be lost to AI and automation. And that's something that always Trump lies to his followers about, to where he always tries to make the case that, immigrants are taking your job or other countries are stealing from you, etc. Actually, automation and AI and advancement technology is where a lot of jobs are gone, right? Even if the factories do come back that Trump is promising, they're probably going to be automated, right? And I think you guys know this deep down. You just don't want to necessarily face the truth. And I just want to tell you the truth about this stuff. I know it's not pleasant, but I'd rather tell you the truth than not. And so then also what's going on as Trump is focused on deportation and getting people distracted with that, law enforcement, FBI, etc., are not focusing on other crimes, be it money laundering and such, or other kind of, we'll just call it, sex crime cases and things that you can see right here talking about it. But we're just not focusing on the bigger picture. We're just basically looking at street level crime kind of things, right? And not even necessarily crime, because then you deal with the ICE officers have quotas to meet, so then they start bending the rules, etc. On top of that, the AI bubble, and I know we're combining two things at the same time, but I just want you to understand the connection of it, okay? Because the connection is that Trump promised you to bring your job back, but in same return, he's pushing industries that are to replace you, so the angst is going to get worse. And I just want to make sure you understand the cycle that we're in. And we're all fighting over basically fewer resources. That's what it ends up being. And there's more consolidation at the top, which you talked about in the last video. And essentially the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And I want you to understand the details of this stuff so you get what's going on and the grift that Trump is playing. And the markets, right, it's all related. I question it because I wonder how long can this go? Because this was in the Financial Times today. It says, OpenAI's computing deals top 1 trillion, right? That's the kind of money we're talking about. And these partners like the NVIDIA and AMD, Oracle, and Altman was just here in Korea, even met with the Korean president. I think he met with the Samsung CEO. Samsung's not listed on here, but this is a lot of stuff is involved here. You can see it all right here. It's like they're all investing in each other, doing business with each other. Oracle, NVIDIA, SoftBank, Microsoft, CoreWeave, Broadcom, Google, Amazon, Meta, Anthropic. Like they're all the biggest companies out there. And the whole grift is like, okay, I will invest in your company and then you rent or buy stuff from me and then I'll lease stuff from you. And then we'll both borrow money to keep this thing going, right? And no one's going to be profitable, but we're all betting it's going to be profitable in the future. And then again, it's all about replacing you. Here's a description of it. It says, the deals also involve circular right? Keep that in mind. Circular arrangements between the world's most valuable startups and its partners, as well as complex financing terms that have, in most cases, yet to be agreed. Okay, great. And then you also have this, which is talking about the power. We got to talk about the power. It matters. Right? If you do want to build all these data centers, where all the power going to come from? Well, listen to this. The deals, and this is the OpenAI stuff. The deals would give OpenAI access to more than 20 gigawatts, not gigabytes, gigawatts of computer capacity, roughly equivalent to the power from 20 nuclear reactors over the next decade. And it sounds like we're getting into Matrix kind of stuff here, right? Where I guess the robots need so much power, the humans are going to plug in. You never know. You never know in this world. Each 1 gigabyte of AI computing capacity costs about $50 billion to deploy in today's prices, according to estimates by OpenAI. Executives making the total cost about $1 trillion. So it's really expensive to do this stuff. And guys, this is where I'm just like, it just doesn't add up for me. It just doesn't add up. You got a president's pushing the AI crypto stuff, and they always say we're all going to be rich with crypto, we're all going to be rich with AI, but how's that going to work out when none of us have any jobs? And then you got Elon Musk, who's like now cozying up to Trump. That was at the last event for the Charlie Kirk thing. And Musk is now hiring a Morgan Stanley person to now be the new CFO at XAI. And even following this story, a bunch of people left Elon Musk. So it was Lisa Yaccarino left. I think she was, the CEO over at the Twitter thing, X. Then his CFO left, Mike Liberatore. And then his general counsel left, Robert Keel. So a bunch of people leave Elon Musk, and Elon Musk, you know what? I'm going to go with Wall Street people because, oh yeah, they're on my side. Because remember, Wall Street's all about pumping up valuations and such like that. And on top of that, you got Trump trying to do whatever deals that he possibly can. I think we're going to do something with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, go IPO. And everyone wants in on that deal because that's the sort of game that Trump is playing. He's building ballrooms to make deals. And so I just want you to see all this stuff together. But I think maybe this is the key chart to look at, to where wages are flat for workers, productivity is going up, but corporate profits are also going up. But the end game, though, again, is to replace all of you and not pay you more. Why would they, when they can just replace you? And this is something that I hope the MAGA, see my videos. I hope we talk about this stuff, because I think it's terribly important to talk about that. When Trump's promising you things, guys, it's smoke and mirrors. I'm telling you. And when he talks about, say, all this money coming in, that's also smoke and mirrors. You can see my videos on Korea and Japan, to where they're just like, hey, Japan's like, oh, we'll give you a 1%, maybe 2% of what you've been saying. And Korea's like, well, okay, we'll go with 5%. And I know they don't see that stuff because it's not covered in American media, because American media, right, is all pushing the narrative of how awesome AI is going to be. But with all these jobs, being essentially replaced by robots, I just don't see it as being sustainable. So that's my point of view on this stuff. I would like to hear yours. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.